There was one specifically where we was like, okay, fire me then.
Did you say that?
Yeah. We were basically like, first of all, they were trying to have one-on-one conversations with us, and unfortunately, I was the person who was called in first for that. There was a standoff happening because they had done this stupid contract that I was refusing to sign, that they had I feel like tricked the entire company into signing because they put it into office moving paperwork. Like we were moving offices, and it's like, oh, you got to sign a new thing for the parking.
Gosh.
You got to sign a new thing. You have to sign a new thing. Oh, and also we have a new image release waiver because we're in a new place. And
the image release waiver, I want to say for the record, none of the people involved in this story work there anymore. But the image release waiver was broad reaching. It basically was like, we own your likeness in any way we want to do it. It
specifically said
forever.
we would own your life story.
You guys, we need to get into what Keith and Zach from the Try Guys just dropped, because this BuzzFeed tea, it's boiling hot. These two are finally spilling the truth about what was really going down behind the scenes, and let's just say, BuzzFeed is not coming out of this looking too good. Keith and Zach hopped on their podcast and started airing out secrets from their time at the company. And the internet is losing it. Not only are they dishing on BuzzFeed's shady past, but they even threw a little side eye at a former Try Guys member. Fans are all over the drama, and the reactions online have been wild. Now, if you don't remember, BuzzFeed used to be the spot, constantly pumping out viral content with some of the most recognizable faces on the internet. People are feeling nostalgic for that era, but Keith and Zach are here to remind us that it wasn't all fun and games behind the scenes. Nope, they're finally ready to share what it was really like working there. According to them, BuzzFeed wasn't just about fun skits and silly challenges. Behind closed doors, there were some questionable business moves going on. They claim the company allegedly tried to sneakily get employees to sign away the rights to their image and content, right in the middle of an office move. Like, who does that? We were literally packing boxes and someone sliding contracts in front of us, they said. That's shady on a whole other level. And this is just the beginning. Things are getting messier by the minute. Keith wasn't having it. After realizing what was really going on with that shady paperwork, he sent out a bold email to everyone in the office, telling them straight up, don't sign anything. He wanted to make sure nobody was getting tricked into handing over their rights without even knowing it.
Did you sign it?
No, none of us did because we read it because we're not
Because we were all working late. And
I see. Okay.
And then I sent an email to the staff saying, did any of you guys sign this thing? It's crazy. I just sent an email to the whole office to be like, don't sign this. They were obviously pissed at me. And then they were like, well, if you don't sign that, you can't be in videos. And I was like, well, if I can't be in videos, I'm a development partner. I can't make videos.
But standing up like that didn't sit well with the higher-ups at BuzzFeed. Keith said the backlash was real, and it put him in some serious hot water with the company. He even recalled saying, read it, 'cause we're not, when it came to those sketchy contracts. He was making it loud and clear. They weren't going down without a fight. That move definitely ruffled some feathers. Got so intense that the Try Guys had to bring in a lawyer to sort through the mess. They weren't about to just roll over and let this happen. And once lawyers got involved, that's when the company allegedly fired off a warning, saying something like a storm is coming. What kind of threat is that? Sounds like they were trying to scare them into silence. Keith and Zach didn't stop there, though. They exposed how employees could literally get fired just for working on side projects outside the company. No matter how small it was, if BuzzFeed found out you were doing anything creative on your own time, you were done. That's not just strict, it's controlling. So get this, BuzzFeed claimed they were all about transparency and honesty. They told employees, hey, just let us know if you're working on stuff outside of BuzzFeed and you won't get in trouble. Sounds fair, right? But according to Keith and Zach, that was all talk. People who actually followed that advice and came forward, they still got fired, straight up let go, even after doing what they were told to do. That's cold. Keith shared one story that really showed just how controlling things got. He was offered a huge gig, an airline commercial. That's not some side hustle, that's a major opportunity. But because he was still under contract with BuzzFeed, they told him he couldn't take it. No discussion, no compromise, just a flat-out no, so he had to walk away from it. Can you imagine turning down a career-changing moment like that because your job won't let you grow? This kind of control over employees' lives is exactly why we ended up seeing that wave of why I left BuzzFeed videos popping off everywhere. Those clips became like a badge of independence, a way to tell the world, I'm free now and here's my truth. For a while, if someone dropped one of those videos, it meant something. It was the internet's version of a grand exit. So many of BuzzFeed's former stars built massive solo careers after leaving, but it wasn't just about going solo. It was about reclaiming their voice. And now that Keith and Zach are telling all, we're seeing just how messy things really were behind that shiny viral curtain. It was like everyone who left BuzzFeed was screaming, "Look what I can do without a company holding me back." And honestly, they weren't lying. We've watched a ton of ex-BuzzFeed employees glow up in a big way. Like, let's talk about the superstar, Keenda Brunson. She went from BuzzFeed sketches to winning Emmys and running her own hit TV show. That's next level. She's easily one of the brightest success stories to come out of that whole scene. But here's something that really caught people off guard. During this episode, Keith revealed where one of BuzzFeed's most iconic video formats actually came from. You know the one. Celebrities playing with puppies while doing press interviews. That wholesome chaos. Yeah, apparently that was Keith's idea, and he came up with it during a time when he wasn't even being allowed in front of the camera. He wasn't filming, but he was still brainstorming gold. Imagine coming up with one of the most recognizable BuzzFeed formats and not getting full credit for it. And the behind-the-scenes tea just kept flowing. Keith and Zach dropped more truth bombs about how the higher-ups were weirdly against them working on Try Guys videos, even though those were some of the company's biggest hits. Why? Because the bosses didn't like that 3 people were focused on one video instead of each making separate content. It wasn't about quality, it was about quantity. But here's the kicker. Zach made sure to emphasize it was 3 people, which fans are taking as a very pointed dig at a certain ex-member. That little detail? Definitely not an accident. This wasn't just office drama. It was a full-on creative power struggle, and now we're seeing exactly how deep it went. The Try Guys used to roll 4 deep, a full squad. It's kinda wild now, looking back and thinking how much things have changed. And honestly, you can't help but wonder, what if BuzzFeed had actually treated their talent better? What if they had trusted them more? There's a real argument that the company could have stayed hot for way longer if they just gave their creatives the space to grow, while still rocking the BuzzFeed brand. I mean, think about it. Plenty of big-name shows let their stars branch out. Take Saturday Night Live, for example. Those cast members are out here doing movies, commercials, full-on TV series, and they still show up for SNL every week. The rule is simple. As long as you're handling business on the main gig, you're free to do you on the side. And guess what? That kind of setup actually makes people want to stay longer. Creates this perfect mix where the audience keeps coming back for the familiar faces and gets excited about the fresh talent being introduced. People love seeing someone grow from a background player to a breakout star right in front of their eyes. Keeps the energy alive and builds loyalty both from the talent and the fans. BuzzFeed? They didn't play it like that. Instead of being flexible, they kept things locked down. And sure, that might work in the short term, but long term? It just pushes people away. The more successful someone got, the faster they had to leave. That's not sustainable. And now, looking at how many of their top creators went on to kill it on their own, it's clear the talent was never the problem. It was the system. They could have had an empire that lasted, but instead, everyone dipped out and took their star power with them. Sure, by the time someone gets really famous, they're gonna want to spread their wings, and who can blame them? But Keith and Zach didn't just drag BuzzFeed the whole time. They actually gave credit where it was due, saying that the company has made some changes in recent years. In fact, they recently visited the BuzzFeed offices, sat down with some of the current employees, and said they genuinely wished them well. So it's not all bad blood. Still, fans haven't forgotten the past. People are going back and watching those old Why I Left BuzzFeed videos all over again, reliving the raw, honest reasons former employees gave for walking away. On TikTok, the clips are everywhere. Reposts from the podcast, snippets from those viral exit videos, everyone has something to say. And the comment sections? Absolutely dragging the company. People are saying BuzzFeed fumbled the bag. And they're not wrong. Some fans are even out here pitching better business plans than BuzzFeed ever had. One popular take? That BuzzFeed could have built an entire ecosystem by helping talent grow their own YouTube channels, but keeping minor ownership stakes. That way, creators get freedom, BuzzFeed keeps a piece of the action, and everybody wins. Instead, they tried to control everything, and now all their biggest stars are thriving without them. BuzzFeed had the chance to become a launchpad for digital superstars, but they chose control over collaboration. And now? The internet's reminding them exactly how big that mistake was. This right here? Classic corporate greed, straight up. BuzzFeed got greedy, no question about it. Instead of investing in the people who were making their brand pop off, they pulled the plug. It's like they looked at their rising stars and said, "Nah, let's stop helping them blow up," instead of thinking smart like, "Let's grow with them and take a small cut from the greatness they're building." Wild move. BuzzFeed had played it right. They could have built something massive, something like Smosh or Dropout, where there's a full-on ensemble of talented folks working together with real budgets and real freedom. A whole creative powerhouse. But instead, they let the ego and control issues run the show, and now they're left watching those same creators dominate the internet without them. Kinda tragic, but also maybe a blessing in disguise. Honestly, thank goodness they messed it up. Because if they hadn't, some of the most iconic content creators we know today might still be stuck under tight contracts and missed opportunities. BuzzFeed could have been the spot for launching new internet legends, a real talent factory. But they chose the short-term grab over long-term growth, and that's what people are dragging them for online right now. After hearing Keith and Zach spill all this tea, fans are fired up. And now that this podcast episode is blowing up, it feels like the first time everyone's talking about the Try Guys again since the Ned Fulmer situation. Yeah, that scandal. When Ned got caught cheating on his wife and ended up getting kicked out the group, it was messy. Even now, people are still curious, especially since he and his wife have been spotted out together a few times since everything went down. It's like all the drama's coming full circle, and the internet lives for it. But when it comes to this whole BuzzFeed drama, what do you think? The behind-the-scenes tea is finally getting spilled, and it's got everyone talking. So drop your thoughts, theories, or hot takes. I want to hear all of it. Y'all have been amazing, as always. I seriously appreciate the support, and I love seeing the conversations that come out of videos like this. It's wild to watch everything unfold in real time, right? Alright, that's it for now. I'll catch you in the next video. Love you all so much. Bye.